Hey, how's it going?
Good, welcome.
Thank you so much for agreeing to take this interview. I can't wait to see the new building.
Yeah, we're excited to show you.
So tell us a bit about pinerest. Tell us a bit about the organization, what kind of services you guys have.
Yeah, gotcha. Let's walk and talk. You can see a little bit of the lobby while I share. So pinerest is a pretty big organization. We have residential services, outpatient services, and inpatient services. So if you were to come to the center, this is maybe the first place that you would interact with. Eventually, if you're a candidate coming to interview, this is where you're going to walk in and tell them that you're here to interview, and then a manager will come get you and take you back to your interview location. But patients too would come in here first, right, and then get directed to wherever they need to go, right? This particular area they're calling the canopy. And I think that is for the purposes of when we do have families here, if they need kind of a central location to meet up, they can say, hey, let's meet at the canopy, and we've got like a really nice waiting room and sitting room back here.
Awesome. So you mentioned that this is a pediatric building.
Mm-hmm.
How is it specifically designed for that?
So you can kind of see, as we walked around, it's very treehouse themed. If we look up here, we can see like the tree, right? But I think one of the best examples is right here, with our slide, right? So it's honestly like a pretty big slide. I think that's just something fun. If we come around the corner here, you can see these little chairs are like kid size, right? So I think there's just a lot of really intentional features to make this a healing space for kids and their families. We've got this little like tree themed area of the canopy as well, with the lights and how things are structured. So
is it kind of treehouse themed throughout the whole building?
Absolutely. No, absolutely the whole building. You'll see all kinds of different like nature and animal murals in the units. You'll see the outside of the building has this really cool tile mosaic, and that looks like a tree, right? Even the entrance, you can kind of see it through the windows here. It looks like a log, right? So the whole thing is very, very intentional. We actually had a youth advisory council made up of high schoolers all over the area, and they kind of came up with the idea that a treehouse would be a really good theme for a children's place.
Sounds like you guys offer a wide range of services.
Definitely.
Are you guys hiring for just this building or for all of pinerest?
No, you'll see we're hiring for all of pinerest. So definitely a lot for this building right now, but the whole area, whether it's outpatient, inpatient, or residential, there are a lot of entry-level opportunities. If you are someone in college right now that maybe has a high school diploma, GED, and some college, we have administrative roles, we have direct care roles. But if you are getting a professional degree, which maybe that's what you're studying in college, like social work or psychology or nursing, there's opportunities for all that here as well. And if you're really curious, like what the heck can I do, you could job shadow. It's pretty easy to job shadow here. So if you want to come out and spend some time with any of these professionals, we could get that set up for you. All right, welcome to one of the units.
Well, this is a cool room. What sort of stuff do you guys do in here?
Yeah, so this is one of 3 22-bed units that we're running specifically in the Pediatric Center.
What's your specific job here?
My specific job, I am actually a recruiter. So I'm a senior recruiter on the team. I started my job here about 3.5 years ago, and I actually recruited psychiatric technicians. Now I recruit nurses. So really anybody doing direct care is something that I can speak to pretty well. But mind you, I'm not a nurse myself. So I know a lot, I don't know everything. So I think it's a good caveat to have.
There we go.
So we'll go maybe here.
What are these rooms for?
So these are actually the patient rooms. You can come in here. So each patient has their own room. They could be males or females in each room. But you can see there's a variety of safety features, right? The beds are quite weighted. The shelves are not going to come down. You've got a whiteboard here that's going to tell you about, your nurse who's caring for you today and any other information that you might need. And probably one of the coolest features in this room, of course, is the lighting panel. So you can see right now we've got it on pink, but they can change the lights to different colors. Again, just really catering to young people, right? And giving them a good experience while they're here.
Awesome.
Yeah. You keep coming.
If I were to start working here, what would you say is a typical day-to-day look like?
Yeah, so I'll speak a little bit maybe to a nurse's typical day-to-day. It's a lot different than a typical nursing job, frankly. In a more traditional medical environment, there is a lot of tasking to do. And your patients are in a room, right? And they may be hooked up to IV fluids or different things. So you're constantly managing and monitoring that. And unfortunately, you don't always really get a ton of time to just sit down at the bedside and really get to know a patient. So if that's something that you really like and you are a nursing student, psych might be for you. Really, psych's going to find its way into pretty much anything you do in nursing, but in particular, there are some unique aspects of it, in particular here. But a typical day-to-day for a nurse, I don't think you can really, it's never the same, right? But there are some like key things that get done every day. So when you come in and you do shift change, everybody from the next shift is going to get together with a charge nurse, and they're going to get a printout of all the patients on the unit, and they're going to go patient by patient and talk about the situation. Ratios in psych tend to look a little bit higher, and that is because we're working with a medically stable patient. So you saw in the rooms, we're not running IV fluids, right? So, you know, we usually have about 8 to 1 nurse for most hours. Sometimes overnight we'll have a max of 11, but that's the biggest you would see. You do get to spend a lot of time with the patients, which is a really cool aspect of this job. You know, it's not all funsies though. People are here because they're in crisis, right? And sometimes they can get aggressive. So there are times when we need to respond to that, right? We try to verbally de-escalate all we can, but sometimes we've got to do more than that. Obviously, we try to limit the amount that we do those things, but safety is our #1 priority here. And sometimes that's the reason that we need to do it, is to keep someone safe, you know, the staff or the patients. So you may see some things like that during the day. We do have security that helps. We have managers that helps, but the nurses and the techs, they're always going to be the first to respond to those situations on the unit.
Does pinerest do a good job preparing them for those sort of crises?
I really think so. We have about 2 weeks of in-classroom training before you even get on the unit. And this is true for a nurse, and it's also true for a tech. So if you were looking for an entry-level direct care position, you know, you would get this too. But one of the classes we do is about 16 hours. So it's 2 full 8-hour days of instruction in physical and verbal de-escalation techniques, and it results in a certification. So it's very good to get you prepared to be on the units.
If I were to work here, where would be a good spot I could eat lunch?
Yeah, so this is one of our new staff lounges. If you want to take a look in here, we've got some different seating areas. We have a booth. We've got some different seating that has more of the privacy if you were looking for that after a long day. We also have spaces to be able to eat. We have the island here. There will be a fridge over here and just an area microwave as well. If you're looking to cook anything, we have a nice water and ice machine, and we're also going to be getting a coffee machine in here for staff as well.
Oh, that's the key item.
Yeah. We also have a TV for anyone that wanted to put anything on, and then also computers if anyone needed to use them to log into our system for anything needed.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
What's something important that you feel people should know about pinerest?
I think something important to know about pinerest is we are a founded Christian company, but whoever you are, depending on your religion or your cultural background or your sexuality, we really welcome you to apply and work here. We have patients of all different backgrounds, and we need our staff to reflect those. So you're welcome here.
Awesome. What's one piece of advice you feel students should know if they're looking to apply?
If they're looking to apply, for students, I would say make sure your voicemail box is not full. And probably be careful with using websites like Indeed. You know, put some intention into your resume and submit it, because Indeed will make kind of an ugly resume for you. And it's kind of tough to look at those if they're out of date and stuff like that.
Fantastic. And then just to kind of wrap up, what are you most excited about for the future of this new unit?
Yeah, I honestly think since COVID, there's been a lot of mental illness in all ages, frankly. It was a really tough time. Loneliness is an epidemic, among other things, but particularly for kids, right? Or just youth in general. And for them to have a dedicated place right in Grand Rapids to come and receive support, I think is going to be really huge.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.